Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another Throwback Thursday with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppy, sitting partially in the shade. It is blazing today. It is crazy weather in Denmark, 27, 28 degrees Celsius. Maybe in the rest of the world that's not blazing, but by Danish standards it is. But luckily there's a bit of a wind. It's kind of fitting I'm drinking this beer today because I'm also doing a barbecue for some people at work. I'm doing some beef ribs for us, and we're going to drink some beers. We're bringing in a tapping system from work to have some beer. And then, I thought I'd review a couple beers while I was cooking. And we're doing a Throwback Thursday with one of the first American beers I ever had that was like a craft beer. A very iconic American beer. This is none other than Sam Adams Boston Lager. I can't remember the last time I bought a bottle of this. I actually didn't buy this in Denmark because you can't get it in Denmark anymore. The only one you can get from them is like their Rebel IPA. I haven't seen them around in years, at least the Boston Lager. I used to love this. I used to adore this. I thought it was a fantastic beer when I got into craft beer. And me and my dad drank a few of these when we were on, family vacations to the States. So that was where I discovered it. It was actually on the West Indies, of all places, I discovered this and Flying Dog Doggy Style Pale Ale. And those were my two first American craft beers. Yeah, and funny enough, not IPAs, like a pale ale and a hoppy Vienna lager. So, yeah, this, I don't know how fresh this is. It said it expires in October this year, so it's probably not that fresh at all. But it's a problem with this stuff, you can't really predict it because it's imported. And it's not like imported by companies that are really into all this cold shipping and all this, like these craft companies. Most of the companies that import Samuel Adams to Europe are bigger companies, and the one that has the right to them in Denmark is notorious for selling old beer, and that might be why you can only find Rebel IPA at the moment. It's because they're trying to get rid of stock. I actually have a beer from them to review today, which expires today, and I just bought it, which is retarded. So, this is Samuel Adams, historic, classic American, lager beer. One of the biggest, I think, craft breweries in the U.S., if not the biggest. And I think when they kind of pushed the boundary or whatever on how big you can be to be a craft brewery, Samuel Adams was always involved in being like, okay, we'll push it so that they're kind of still in it. As far as I remember, so Boston Lager, it's a more well-hopped interpretation of like a Vienna lager. So I don't know hops or malt or anything except that it's a Vienna lager, but it's slightly hazy, so it's probably unfiltered. I mean, there's a little bit of a chunkiness in the bottom. I remember it as being very clear though, having it. And actually, this bottle is an extra, but I got a case for 4th of July for our 4th of July party this year, where we might do a live stream. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be doing it with 40 hands too. But yeah, I mean, it's a pale golden orange amber color. I guess you would call this more like, instead of Vienna lager, an American amber lager, actually, to be honest. But yeah, white head. Let's check out the aroma. It was very nice and frothy when I poured it, just because I did kind of like slow pour method. But let's check out the aroma. Yeah, it's definitely not fresh. It's definitely not fresh. It's hop forward. It's got a little bit of that, almost like when you boil mash. When you add the hops, that like sweet, worty hop thing, like sweet wort and hops. I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, I love this. I don't know. It doesn't smell. It doesn't really. Maybe it's starting to oxidize a bit, because it has maybe a little bit of a cardboardy, papery thing, but it's not a lot. It's just like a small amount. Otherwise, it's like grassy, kind of citric, almost like grapefruity hop vibes to it as well, and like caramelly, biscuity, bready notes. Almost slightly diacetyl-like. But, well, okay. What a different experience to what I thought it'd be. Well, let's check it out, guys. Cheers. That's pretty much what I remember. At least drinking it in Europe, where it's not that fresh. It's like a very hoppy amber lager. I think a lot of people would confuse this with like an amber ale maybe, or maybe even a pale ale, because it's very hoppy and fairly bitter. But I don't mind that at all. This is actually going to be a nice change of pace for the 4th of July party, because otherwise it's only light lagers and macro beer, even 40s. It's actually very refreshing out in the heat. The kind of oxidized papery thing is the only thing. There's not like the diacetyl or anything I talked about. And then a little bit of an old hop, but it's not all the way in like the tea leafy flavor. But that might be just because it's not as hopped like as an IPA. But yeah, caramel, like sweet toffee kind of malt flavor, biscuity bready malt. Yeah, and floral notes, bit of grapefruit, doughy breadiness. It's very American like interpretation of lager beer. I must say I prefer the European interpretations nowadays that are gently hopped. And if you have to do like lagers that are more hop centric than just lightly dry hop with like modern hops, because I think there's like probably Cascade or something in here. It tastes like classic C hops, American classic C hops. But it's a nice beer. It's very refreshing. 4.7%. I think I failed to mention that, but it's fun to revisit this again because I haven't had it in years. And this is just like everywhere in the States. We used to get lots of different Sam Adams, but as I said, now it's only Rebel IPA. And I don't even know if, how relevant they are nowadays. Because when I was in Boston, I didn't drink any Sam Adams. Because obviously there's other breweries like Night Shift and Trillium that's much more worth drinking. But, as a nostalgic little trip down memory lane for Throwback Thursday, I don't think it's half bad. And the oxidized flavor is so minimal that you would only find it if you're looking for it. And I was looking for it. If you gave this to someone else, they might not notice and just think, oh, that's an enjoyable amber ale. Oh, it's actually an amber lager. Because it's actually not that clean tasting. Like, it's not as clean tasting as other, like, craft lagers. Because you have so much hop character and, like, the sweet malt and everything that kind of disrupts that, like, clean lager yeast profile. With maybe a little bit of the lager esters and whatever sulfuric notes and stuff like that I talk about sometimes, because it is quite hoppy and quite bitter, like a nice medium snappy bitterness. But I enjoy it. I think it's a great drink. I'm looking at like 85 actually. It's not like world class or amazing. It's just enjoyable drinking beer and very like old school American craft beer. I mean, I almost drank it all out here in the sun, waiting for my beef ribs to come up to temp before wrapping them. But yeah, it is what it is. It's Boston Lager, and I can see for sure for the 4th of July party that this is what's going to be drunk the quickest because it's what's going to taste the best. So, but we got 24 bottles, got a case, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, decent beer, nothing crazy, worth a shot if you've never had it. Most of you guys probably had Sam Adams, but it's a beer you just have to check out just for its history in American craft beer alone. So. Yeah, guys, if you recently had a chance to check out Samuel Adams Boston Lager like I just did, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks for watching this Throwback Thursday. Fun to do these. It's really fun to go back memory lane and try classic beers. So if you guys had it, let me know what you thought of it. As always, comment, subscribe. Check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'm going to say cheers. And see you guys in another beer review.